What is the current state of journalism in the world?
Two things about it. There's many things, but two things. One, in the developed countries, mainly democratic countries, there's really a crisis in newspapers because newspapers have lost the business model of lots of circulation, lots of money from advertising, and really don't know how to pay for themselves. And many newspapers, not all, but many newspapers, including many big and prestigious ones, are now facing very difficult times, laying people off and therefore getting weaker. The other big movement, I think, is in countries which are or have been until recently authoritarian countries with one-party rule. And there you see journalists pushing against the barriers and the inhibitions of these countries and trying to do what they would regard as good, honest, fact-based, investigative journalism. So you see the ideals of journalism, the kind of things that people have said journalism should do for society, being copied and used in countries where it's still difficult or even dangerous to do so.
And what are the ideals of journalism?
I think the main ideals of journalism are those which have been articulated for a long time, really for centuries, since the 17th century. And they are, one, to try to tell the truth, which is very often very difficult, but to believe there is such a thing as the truth in events, in individuals, in movements, and so on. Secondly, to hold power to account, and that's done by getting the facts, listening to what people in power say they're going to do, check if they're doing it, go behind the obvious actions to see what the agenda is behind these, and to analyze, to make people aware of what the implications of the main movements and trends and institutions in society are. In other words, to try to make society, politics, the world as clear as possible in as many places as possible. These are the ideals, and I think still they're worth preserving, and still they tend to spread.
How has modern technology changed or shaped journalism in the world?
Modern technology, by that we really mean the net, and the fact that the net, the web, is taking over increasingly as the vehicle for journalism, as it's taking over for being the vehicle for very much else. Increasingly now, newspapers and magazines are going onto the web. Many of them are losing their paper-based product, and increasingly too, we're looking at programs, television programs, listening to radio programs, and looking at a great variety of material, some of it journalism, most of it not, on the web. So what the web will do with journalism is already the most important technological, market, and even political factor in our life. And one can say at the moment, it's difficult to know how it's going to go, but at the moment what the web gives us is a kind of information paradise. For the ordinary web surfer, there's never been a better time to be informed about things. You can, in the course of an hour, get more information than you can possibly digest in a week. And that's never been true. We've been living in societies of information scarcity. We're now living in societies of information overload, which is a good deal better than scarcity.